Welcome back, everyone, to Behind the Arc Basketball. With the NBA draft approaching this week, I'm going to talk about my final NBA mock draft to my first round predictions for picks number 1 through 10. This video is part 1 of a 3-part video, so after watching my first video of picks number 1 through 10, make sure to go on over to my second video with picks number 11 through 20, and my third video with picks number 21 through 30. I'll put the links to the 2 other videos down in the description below. So without any further ado, we will start with my first overall pick prediction here, my final prediction video, my 2020 NBA mock draft. At number 1 overall, I predict the Minnesota Timberwolves will select LaMelo Ball, point guard. As this year, this draft comes down to 3 players who have potential to be selected as the first overall pick. LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, and Anthony Edwards. Minnesota had 3 months to prepare for this moment after being selected to pick first in the NBA draft lottery. I'm going to go with Ball here at number 1 for the T-Wolves. As LaMelo Ball reportedly worked out with Minnesota recently, and according to ESPN, it was the first workout that Ball had agreed to. He played in 12 games in the National Basketball League with the Illawarra Hawks from Australia. He averaged 17 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 6.8 assists per game before suffering a foot injury. Ball's best skill is his elite ball handling and passing. He can also be an excellent rebounder as well for a guard, as he is one of the youngest players in this NBA draft class since he turned the age of 19 back in August. With Ball on the roster, the T-Wolves might go with more focusing on D'Angelo Russell to score more for this upcoming season and for LaMelo Ball to be the primary ball handler. But either way, LaMelo Ball much needed for the T-Wolves. He will make a great pick and roll partner as well with Karl-Anthony Towns. And I've got Ball here selected at first overall to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2020 NBA draft. Now we're going to move on. Second selection here that I predict. At number 2, we'll go out to Golden State picking James Wiseman, center from the Memphis Tigers, as Golden State needs a big man that can help out with low post scoring, rebounding, and elite level shot blocking. James Wiseman should be the answer here, as Wiseman only played in 3 games in college for the Memphis Tigers. But in those 3 games, he averaged 19.7 points per game, 10.7 rebounds per game, and 3 blocks per game, while shooting an impressive 77% from the floor. Wiseman is a 7'1" center. He would play along with a loaded core group of guards here with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, coming back healthy next season for Golden State, also alongside Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins in the starting 5 as well. This would give Wiseman the opportunity to improve his skill set with a group of vets out on the court. As Golden State, they should be back right on the right track for this upcoming season as one of the top teams in the NBA once again. According to multiple reports, the Charlotte Hornets are also extremely interested in James Wiseman. I think that Golden State will take Wiseman off the board here at number 2 right before Charlotte can get to him. Now we're going to move on here to number 3. Selecting at number 3 is the Charlotte Hornets, and that's where I predict that they're going to go after Anthony Edwards, shooting guard from the Georgia Bulldogs. There's no doubt that the Hornets do need inside help. However, if Wiseman doesn't fall to number 3, the Hornets could be tempted to pick up Onyeka Okongwu from USC, but as Charlotte, they do need some inside help as well. But here at number 3, I predict that the Hornets are going to take the best player available to them right on the draft board, which happens to be Anthony Edwards. Edwards averaged 19.2 points per game as a freshman playing for the Georgia Bulldogs this past season. And as well as he basically carried the entire team for Georgia. He only averaged 40.2% from the floor shooting and a low 29.4% from behind the arc, which he's going to have to improve these numbers and have them translate over to the NBA as he continues to grow. But Anthony was constantly taking shots since he was the go-to player that constantly produced last season with a struggling Georgia Bulldogs squad. Edwards should be able to have that pressure being taken off of him significantly here by not attempting 20 shots per game like he was doing a lot during his time at Georgia, as he would play alongside backcourt teammates of Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. Edwards is viewed as a solid two-way player, elite level shooting, scoring potential, and he is also explosive offensively, as he is quick, strong defensively as well, and can lock down opponents. However, there's been times as well that Anthony Edwards hasn't been connected as much out on the floor, so he's had mental lapses defensively, but I think that he can improve a ton here, cut down on the mistakes throughout his career as he has such a high ceiling. And out of all the players here in this draft, I predict that Edwards is going to be the top superstar out of all these players here in this draft if I had to predict. And I predict that he's going to make multiple All-Star games throughout his career as the Hornets do happen to need a star player. And I predict that they're going to get an absolute gem here by picking up Anthony Edwards at number 3. Now we're going to go on here to number 4 for the NBA draft prediction that I have. That would go out to the Chicago Bulls picking up power forward Obi Toppin from the Dayton Flyers, the National Player of the Year for college basketball in 2020. I think it's either down to these two players, Toppin or Denny Avdia at number 4, but I'm going to go here with Toppin as he led Dayton to an incredible season. 29-2 record for the Flyers, 18-0, perfect in the A10 as Obi Toppin averaged 20 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game last season, while shooting the ball lights out from the floor, 63.3% shooting. As Toppin is just an athletic freak, super duper explosive and powerful dunker as well, tremendous finisher, can score inside, and he can just light it up from the court as well. As he's not the strongest defender, but he can help out, he can defend inside there. But what Chicago can use is help with scoring, since the Bulls were ranked 27th in points scored and 26th in shooting percentage this past season. And Obi Toppin, he was just phenomenal what he did at Dayton. He made a career 68.8% of his 2-point shots during his 2 seasons for Dayton. And Toppin here will be able to come in and deliver, I feel like, for the Bulls, lighting it up on the floor and able to boost Chicago's offensive attack. I like Obi Toppin at number 4 going to Chicago. Now we're going to take a look here at number 5. That's where I predict Denny Avdia, small forward, going out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So according to reports, the Cavs have narrowed it down as well to Obi Toppin and Denny Avdia here. I think that Toppin will be taken 4th to Chicago. That means Avdia at number 5 to Cleveland. And they're going to be able to take a 19-year-old here that played in the Maccabi Tel Aviv of the Israeli Basketball Premier League here. And in the Israeli Super League, his stats weren't eye-popping for Avdia. He's got a ton of upside, though, as he averaged 12.3 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game. He did shoot 55.5% from the floor, however, so his shooting from the floor is decent. His room for improvement would have to be his 3-point shooting and also converting on shots from the free throw line, as well as Avdia's value towards his first NBA team here. It's going to be his playmaking abilities, ball handling abilities as well. He's got excellent vision as a passer. He's viewed by scouts as a terrific playmaker. He also has improved tremendously as a defender, disrupting passes, blocking shots on the floor, as the Cavs just need a ton of help by picking their next potential star up. And at small forward here, Denny Avdia will be a much needed improved upgrade over Seti Osman in the lineup, who Osman happened to start 65 games this season, every single one of the games this season. He averaged 11 points per game, but only 3.6 rebounds per game. As Avdia, he has a great chance here to make an impact on the court, as well as offensively when he continues to grow, as well as what he can accomplish defensively here for the Cavs. The hope is that he can improve his jump shot, be an exceptional playmaker here that can consistently score at a high level. And in the last few years here, it seems like the international prospects in the NBA draft have been undervalued. Avdia, he could be the next potential star player here in the NBA if he continues to make significant strides to improve throughout his career. I like him at number 5 here to Cleveland. Now we're going to take a look here at number 6. This is where I have another young player coming in here, Isaac Okoro. Going to the Atlanta Hawks at number 6, small forward, played college basketball his freshman season for the Auburn Tigers. And his stats aren't really eye-popping as well. But Okoro, he averaged 12.8 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game. He did, however, convert on over 60% of his 2-point shots from the floor for Auburn last season. As he's going to have to need to improve from behind the arc as well, and at the free throw line also, as Okoro converted on over 28% of his 3-point shots, so he's going to have to get that up a ton, as well as only 67% at the free throw line. As he can offer what he offers the most here, his terrific lockdown defensive capabilities. Him as a defender, it is fantastic for Okoro. He is a high-level defender. He's got size, length, strength, toughness to lock down other opposing players, and he's a solid playmaker as well. He just needs to continue to grow offensively, and even though the Hawks in their roster have other young small forwards with Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, the Hawks I feel like, can use another defender here to boost up their defense here that can grow and hopefully be much better offensively throughout his career. As the Hawks, their weak spot last season was their defense. That's where Okoro should be able to come in and help them out, as the Hawks allowed a league worst 119.7 points per game to opponents. And I think here that Atlanta will get a boost with their defense if they're able to pick up Okoro at number 6. Now we're going to take a look here at number 7. My NBA draft prediction rankings going out here. Point guard, Tyrese Halliburton. I have him going over to the Detroit Pistons here at number 7. So Halliburton made a massive jump from his freshman season in college over to his sophomore season. He averaged only 6.8 points per game back in 2018-19 to last season as a sophomore at Iowa State. He averaged 15.2 points per game, 6.5 assists per game, and 5.9 rebounds per game. He played the first 22 games of last season, but however, his season ended due to a wrist injury that forced him to miss the rest of the season. Halliburton, however, he improved his shooting and his defense in his second season for the Cyclones, as he shot the ball over 50% from the floor, just under 42% from behind the arc, and over 82% at the free throw line. And defensively as well, Halliburton has a lot to offer. He was a ball-stealing beast. He averaged 2.5 steals per game. He had multiple steals in a couple of games this season where he had 3 steals in, and then he had 2 games with 4 steals. He had 1 game with 5 steals, and then 1 game with 6 steals as well for Halliburton. He also posted a triple-double of 22, 12, and 10 against TCU. He's a quick decision maker, solid passer, excellent defender. The Pistons here looking for a future point guard that's able to produce, make shots at a high level. Derrick Rose has been in the NBA since 2008. I feel like Halliburton would be a great fit here to learn under Derrick Rose and then eventually be handed over the keys to run the offense in the future at the point guard position. That's where I like Tyrese Halliburton over to the Detroit Pistons at number 7. Now at number 8 here for my NBA draft prediction rankings here. For the picks, that's where I predict here the New York Knicks on the board, taking Killian Hayes, another point guard, at number 8. Hayes has already proved that he can play 3 seasons so far professional basketball out in Europe, and he is only 19 years old. He is a young player as well in this draft. During his first 2 seasons, Hayes played for Cholet out of the French League. In this past season, he played in the Basketball Bundesliga out in Germany, where he averaged 11.6 points per game and 5.4 assists per game. He converted on over 48% of his shots from the floor, and what he's going to have to look to build up, though, is 3-point shooting, which he only shot 29.4% from behind the arc last season. As Killian Hayes is viewed by scouts here as a solid passer who can lead in offense, and he also uses his size to overpower smaller guards in the league as well. Last season, Hayes proved that he could run the offense at the point while playing in Germany. The Knicks, what they are looking for out of this draft, a point guard, I feel like, in the next star at the point guard position, as the Knicks desperately need to find their next point guard of the future here, which I feel like Killian Hayes would make a great fit. That's where I got him at number 8 on the draft board. Now at number 9 for my NBA draft predictions here. That's where I have a big man going to the Washington Wizards at number 9, center Onyeka Okongwu, 6'9" from USC, going over to the Washington Wizards. Okongwu is a monstrous force. He is explosive, solid, two-way player. He can dunk with a ton of power. During his freshman season at USC, Okongwu averaged 16.2 points per game, 8.6 rebounds per game, and 2.7 blocks per game, as he was number 9 in all college basketball last season in blocks per game. He is an impressive scorer inside the low post. He led the Pac-12 in shooting percentage, connecting on over 61% of his shots from the floor. And scouts view Okongwu as a tremendous rebounder due to his strength, toughness, and quickness. His shot blocking abilities will be a massive help here towards the Washington Wizards, as Washington just needs defenders in their roster as well as rebounders and shot blockers. As the Wizards allowed over 119 points per game last season, they were second to last with their second to worst defense in the NBA, behind the Atlanta Hawks, as the Wizards finished 29th in total defense. Washington also finished 28th in the NBA in rebounds per game, 26th in two-point shooting percentage, and 24th in blocks per game. These are all areas here where Okongwu can definitely help out the Washington Wizards and boost those stats up for next season. Now at number 10, the last one from 1 to 10 here in the first video for my mock draft predictions goes out to the Phoenix Suns. I predict that they're going to take Devin Vassell, shooting guard from Florida State. Improvement here. That was the key during Devin Vassal's second season for the Seminoles as he took a huge step up in his progression. As a freshman, Vassal was 9th on the team for Florida State in scoring as he only averaged 4.5 points per game as a freshman. But in his sophomore season, he was able to take a massive jump up. He bumped those numbers up in scoring and rebounding, averaging 12.7 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and 1.4 steals per game last season, earning him second-team All-ACC honors. Devin Vassal's numbers aren't off the chart since he played with one of the deepest squads in all college basketball last season that had 7 players average over 19 minutes per game. His progression, however, from freshman year to sophomore year is absolutely outstanding. That is what stands out to me here for Devin Vassal, as he also happens to be a solid three-point shooter. He connected on 41.5% of his three-point shots from this past season. He had a career high in February against Virginia Tech where he was a perfect 7 for 7 from three-point range, and he scored a career high 27 points. He can be described as a 3-and-D wing here for Devin Vassal since he's a terrific defender as well as a sharp shooter from the perimeter, coming off an incredible 8 wins in the Disney bubbles. They were 8-0 for the Phoenix Suns. I think that Phoenix here will happen to address their needs at the defensive end as well as a sharpshooter here that can produce offensively. With their pick at number 10, Phoenix was a top 10 offense in scoring this season, but defensively they were only 20th in points allowed and 22nd in opponent shooting percentage. I've got Devin Vassal here to the Phoenix Suns at number 10. So that's a wrap here to my first part and my final predictions for my 2020 NBA mock draft video with picks number 1 through 10. Make sure to check out my second and third videos, the picks number 11 through 20 and picks number 21 through 30 as well. I'll put the links to those 2 videos down in the description below. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also, check out all the other great content I have going on here on my channel as well as my play-by-play live streams for college basketball will be starting back soon on November 25th. So feel free to stop on by, hang out, and experience the fantastic live streams I offer here as well. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, as this is Behind York Basketball.